And I know in Australia, Australians love their pies. That's another quick food. And Europeans have introduced us all to pizza, another fast food. Pasta, I don't think there's a home today without pasta in it. I said, what do you drink? He said, Coca-Cola, coffee, because he has a lot of painkillers. He was only 44. He was well-built man, but at 44, his quality of life had gone. So we encouraged him to start drinking more water. By the end of the week, the headache had gone. By the end of the week, the lower back pain had certainly eased and his lungs were a little freer. Most people don't realise that coffee is a huge contributing factor to dehydration, to heart malfunction, and also to imbalance in heartbeats.
We unknowingly consume so many processed foods, which are the root cause of numerous sugar, bad carbs, and synthetic chemical compounds. A diet based on processed foods can result in type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and a high chance of cancer. And a woman who stands tall against all odds to make you understand the truth about processed foods is Dr. Barbara O'Neill. She is an expert and a renowned name in the field of alternative healthcare. She is in a mission to expose the lies about processed foods, and consequently people will be able to lead a sound and happy life.
There are approximately 100 trillion cells in the human body. We have eye cells, we have muscle cells, skin cells, bone cells, brain cells. And to understand how the human body heals itself, we need to go down to the smallest component, which is the cell.
Humanity has walked a long path and made significant progress over the years. The rapid population growth that craves for delicious foods leads to the development of remarkable changes in the history of both food and agriculture. Besides, it is a fact that most of us can hardly resist munching a delicious hamburger with chips. This habit sometimes turns into an addiction. We are often unaware that we are feeding toxins to our body. It is evident that processed foods occupy 25–60% in our diets. You are not to blame. The food companies of the processed foods have to take the blame. They stuff all these substances, creating your brain to say, wow. The addiction for food addiction is not an addiction of the truest kind for many. But if you develop a habit of making processed foods your closest ally, I have some very bad news for you. The processed foods can lead to the failure of several systems and organs, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cancers, and weight gain. After a period of time, it happens to children that they could be the potential victims of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. And bad news is that children with ADHD won't be motivated and they will feel out of energy most of the time. In this scenario, what are you going to do? What do you have to eat when majority of the grocery stores are brimming with various kinds of processed foods? Now we have to give our attention to Ms. Barbara O'Neill. Dr. Barbara said, I think that our great Creator made the body in such a way that it can heal itself and to have the hidden power within us. And if it sounds like too big of a change, then wait till you hear about all the ways of processed food can bring down your health. One study that included more than 100,000 adults found that a 10% increase in consumption of ultra-processed foods was connected with a 10% larger risk of heart disease. So, where to kickstart if you have a strong desire to avoid processed foods? Well, O'Neill holds all the answers. She advises you to quit the oil first, and that includes the coconut oil and the sunflower oil displayed in the pristine bottles at the supermarket. You may ask, why is that? These oils are made by steaming the seeds at a very high temperature, which destroys the herbal materials that your health needs.
People use the coconut oil and the olive oil. They can be extracted from the flesh of the plant. But those hard seeds, they couldn't really get the oils out until they developed high heat chemical equipment to extract oil from hard seeds.
But you might not discover. Many folks speak to me about it. Instead, you may find bottles classified with coronary heart health, really due to the fact technology has concluded that polyunsaturated fats reduce the threat of coronary heart problems. However, humans were going crazy with using these oils in the ultimate century or so. In that manner, extra omega-6 and omega-3, which has been related to expanded chances of weight gain and coronary heart sickness. So, what do you need to do?
If you do fry any food, it should be always in a saturated fat because saturated fat is heat resistant and light resistant.
Well, Dr. Barbara indicates the usage of saturated fat. But what about canola oil, you ask? Well, it is a large no-no in Barbara's books. It's now not natural, and whatever it is, all are artificially modified.
Canola oil is one of the most dangerous because it's been genetically modified to reduce the uracic acid levels in it, because uracic acid is toxic to humans. So it's been genetically modified.
However, consistent with the alternative medication genius, there are some methods you may use in coconut oil. One is to reinforce your dental fitness. In one pilot study, oil pulling with coconut oil for 30 days reduced plaque buildup in 60 contributors with gum sickness. What's interesting is that our ancestors had been doing this for centuries. So, Dr. Barbara isn't precisely introducing something new. She's most effectively connecting us to our past, that we appear to have forgotten in this time of plastic and chemical substances. So, stick to Barbara's words, and you may be capable of avoiding a trip to the dentist, who, according to O'Neill, is doing damage. A huge percentage of the populace gets root canals once their enamel passes horrifically. But the Prospect Remedy professional exhibits the truth of the method.
So the most dangerous thing you can have in your mouth is root canals. The reason for this is a root canal filling is a dead tooth. So there's your jaw, there's the tooth, and it's connected by a periodontal ligament that's connecting it. Now, when someone's got a root canal filling, root has been taken out.
In her words, the dead space is now a famous hangout region for all varieties of microbes. What's more, the body is programmed to reject something useless. So the protection cells in your frame try and fight off the lifeless enamel that could lead to contamination. There are also blood vessels right next to the tooth, which means that there may be a chance that the infection can unfold to the blood and the relaxation of the frame. So, what must you do? Well, take out the foundation canal.
And if your dentist says, this is ridiculous, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that tooth, I'm not going to do it, I would say, well, if you don't do it, I'll go to someone that will. It's your mouth. You put root canal fillings into the web and you'll get a whole lot of scary stuff.
But there are bigger troubles than root canals that weaken our society. Take diabetes for one. Approximately 38.4 million Americans suffer from diabetes, and this is according to 2001 data. Considering the lifestyle that most people are dwelling nowadays, it's safe to count on that the quantity has risen higher. Some of you might say it's now not as dangerous as most cancers. However, in 2021, diabetes turned out to be linked to the deaths of 103,294 people, making it the 8th leading cause of deaths inside the United States. But here is a harsh reality check. Big corporations might be responsible for giving us diabetes in the first place. There are complete industries committed to the production of artificial sugar and carbohydrates, and we are their unswerving customers. I guess our grandmas have been right when they stated that the way to a person's coronary heart is through their belly. So, what do you do then? Let's be pragmatic. Those of you who are afflicted by celiac disorder, which means that your body can't digest gluten, recognize how tough it is to go on with a gluten-unfastened weight reduction plan. Big businesses don't make things easier for you. The same goes for warding off the whole lot that causes diabetes. You should put in some attempt if you do not need a million health troubles in near future.
How can we conquer diabetes? There are certain things that have to stop. So stop the hybridized wheat. Can you get wheat that has not been hybridized? You can. It's called ancient grains. You might have seen bread made out of ancient grains. And they are spelt. Spelt are wild hybrids of the original wheat, and also kamut and inkhorn.
The answers to a healthy lifestyle are out here. You simply must search for them. The same common sense applies when you're affected by the flu. Let's be practical. What's the first component do you need when you have a runny nostril and a bad cough? That doesn't seem to go away. You'll probably treat yourself with warm soups. And then on the second day, you will head all the way down to the pharmacy to seize yourself some medicine and antibiotics. And this is exactly where the problem starts. These capsules are marketed as a lifesaver, a quick repair. Take one, and you may be properly to paintings in a jiffy, a cheat code. But the fact is, you're actually signing yourself up for more troubles down the road. The more antibiotics you're taking, they become much less effective at the end.
I'm not against antibiotics. They have saved lives, they are saving lives, they will save lives. But we've got a problem today. It's the overuse of the antibiotic. They're not used for life-saving resorts. Well, they are, but they're also used for a cough, a sore finger, a sore foot.
According to Dr. Barbara, you should think twice to go to your nearest medical doctor when you feel unwell. Nature has programmed our body to heal itself. Let the physicians teach the people that restorative power lies now not in tablets, but in nature. But you need to do something when you're unwell. You would possibly want to ring up your grandma. She'll have all the solutions. Barbara's even kind enough to share her non-public recipes with the rest of us. Dr. Barbara has taught humans approximately the flu bomb. It is a better option than antibiotics for curing the flu. Here is the recipe. It is also called a flu bomb. At first, you have to put garlic in it. You would possibly weigh down a clove of garlic. Then you have to put ginger in it, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of finely chopped ginger. Then go for a teaspoon of honey. Afterwards, put the juice of a lemon. If lemons are scarce, you can use 1/2 of a lemon. Then use a sprinkle of cayenne pepper. For the very brave, you would possibly do 1/2 a teaspoon and use 1 drop of both tea tree oil and eucalyptus oil. Then you place approximately 1/3 of a cup of hot water with that, and you'll be amazed that what you do next, drink it on. And if you're feeling uncertain whether you should take her on, and then how about the truth that this girl is giving hour-long lectures on the age of 70? Not quite a few oldsters nowadays hit that range without health complications until they've been raised on an amazing food regimen from their adolescence. But Dr. Barbara O'Neill is living proof of her teachings. And this is where the problem is. If a person like Dr. Barbara is able to live a complete lifestyle following her teachings, then why could she be ignored? Why is she being avoided when infinite people thank her for turning their lives round? It's no longer like she has promising remedies. She is providing herbal alternatives instead of tablets and chemicals so we can lead healthy lives. So, what precisely is the trouble? Well, the solution's easy. It's because huge agencies cannot exactly fill their pockets. If we stop going to supermarkets and prevent shopping for processed ingredients, then they lose millions of bucks. Stop buying antibiotics and Big Pharma might be in chaos. Doctors these days, 99% are all offered out. They offered their soul to Big Pharma, and most of them care about money. Dr. Barbara has absolutely confronted loads of backlash for teaching her own way of lifestyle to hundreds of humans. The fact is, our fitness is in our hands, and they don't say you reap what you sow for no motive, you recognize. You can enjoy your pizza deliveries and chug down bottles of soda liquids, but you'll lose your 40s to health practitioner appointments and restocking pills that you could have avoided without difficulty if you made the right decisions in your early life. So, are you convinced by way of Dr. Barbara O'Neill's phrases? Will you bear in mind switching to her healthy diet weight reduction plan? Thanks for watching.
And with that, we wrap up today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. For more queries, I have also added some studies at the end of this video description. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Stay healthy, stay fine.